Happy Tom Ford Tuesday! I'm Mo, which is short for Monique, and Tuesdays I dedicate to Tom Ford beauty. Today, I'm going to share with you if I could only keep 10 of my Tom Ford eyeshadows, the ones that they would be. This was a fun challenge, and I'm excited to share the ones that made the cut. And I may or may not have a few honorable mentions. So, shall we hydrate and begin? So as I was going through my collection of Tom Ford eyeshadow quads, I honestly can say I feel good about my collection. I'm proud of my collection. I love my collection. Now, in all honesty, there are eyeshadow quads in my collection that they're not my favorite. They may not perform the way I want them to, but of all of my quads, there's always at least one eyeshadow in there that just it does it for me and it makes me keep it. So I do love all of my Tom Ford quads, but I wanted to pick the 10, the ones that would be it. That's it. I could live without the others. That was hard to say. You know what? If you have some favorite Tom Ford eyeshadow quads, I'd love to hear them. Comment them down below. Let's share all of our favorite Tom Ford eye quads. Okay, so in no particular order, again, I'm just gonna pick and we're gonna see. So the first one that I'm gonna share with you is Double Indemnity. Now this beauty happens to be one of my absolute favorite date night eyeshadow quads. I love the formulation because, you know, my first love from Tom Ford eyeshadow quads is the wet dry formula, and this happens to be the wet dry formula. I really enjoy this color story, and I love that I can keep it a little toned down, or I can really, you know, take it there if I want to. The color story on Double Indemnity speaks for itself. This shade here is just, it's my absolute favorite. I love it so much. And this black here, it has these sparkles in it, but it works and it builds and it doesn't scatter. It's a beautiful formulation. Just look at that. I have worn this to my husband's company's holiday party. I wear this to date night. There are times where I just don't know what I want to do, but I want a dramatic look. Confidently, I reach for Double Indemnity. So we are definitely off to a good start with Double Indemnity. Look at the way the black sparkles, and that's exactly how it applies on the lid and wears. So gorgeous. All right, next up is African Violet. If you're curious, I do keep all of the little plastic covers on my quads. You don't need to. It's just me. It's a me thing. It's not a you thing. It's a me thing. So this one is in what I like to call the traditional eyeshadow formulation. It's not the wet dry. It's not the crème. It's not the extreme. It's more of your traditional powders. Okay. But it does include different formulations of that powder. And this one is a perfect example. You have mattes, satins, and like the shimmery, glittery shades. African Violet gives you color, but keeps it sophisticated and extremely wearable. I've created a couple of different looks with African Violet here on our series Tom Ford Tuesday. For me, this is such a fun Tom Ford quad. It's definitely something. This color story definitely gives you a little bit more than your traditional everyday colors. And again, it still keeps it very wearable. When I was picking the 10 quads, I literally went through all of them and I was like, oh, I love this one. Oh, I love this one. Oh, I love this one. Literally to all of them. But, you know, I wanted to share the 10, again, realistically, if I didn't have any other quads, these would be the ones that I would be very happy with. I could get colorful looks, I could get dramatic looks, I could get everyday looks, I could get everything I want out of these 10. And I feel very confident about the 10 that I chose. So that was African Violet. Next up, this is what I like to think of as the most classic of classics, the basic of basics, the necessity, where you would start. This, if I had to recommend, would probably be your core, your start, where you begin if you were starting off with Tom Ford for this particular formulation. Mink Mirage. This is a quad of matte, basic, everyday, wearable, hit pan, reach for it all the time eyeshadows. Day looks, night looks, whenever looks, all here with these 4 shades. And the best part is this black It's one of those blacks that you can work with. It's not overly intense where you're going to get carried away and you're going to have raccoon eyes. It's the Tom Ford kind where you can control the intensity, build it up to your, what you would like. You can also use it as a liner. Super creamy. Look at those colors. And here we are. I have, because I didn't have any other makeup with me, I have mixed these two shades here, used it for my brows. I've gone in very lightly with this shade here to create a soft contour on the face. And I'm telling you, it's a very multifunctional eyeshadow palette. You can create so many different looks. It's a really, really good start, and the formulation is fantastic. So that's Mirage. Now this next one is a newer addition to the family. And I just want to point out that the newer Tom Ford products are now with this TF on the front versus the older ones that were just plain. Anywho, although she's a newer addition to the family, she is getting lots and lots and lots of love. And this is what I'm wearing on my eyes today. This is Valores Khaki. And this is in the Crème formulation. And as you can see, she's not perfect condition anymore. She's getting a lot of love, like a lot of love. So for today's look, it's Tom Ford Tuesday. You know the full face is Tom Ford. All that stuff will be listed and linked down below in the description box for you. So I started off with this on the beginning portion of the lid. I then went in with this shade all over the lid. And then I use this as my little soft wing liner, and then this shade on the lower lash line. This is my sophisticated khaki green day look, and I love it. I just feel very confident when I wear this look, and this has kind of been my go-to look from this palette. When I'm not just going in with the green all over, okay, because I love this green. But again, this is a very beautiful, wearable, sophisticated color story. And this formulation, this cream formulation is beautiful. These colors, yes please and thank you. They have a creaminess to them, but they have a powder dry down, but not to the point where it's dusty. It's just a beautiful, beautiful formulation. All right, this next one is another one of what I like to call the core staples. It's a very basic color story, but it's a very practical color story as well. And it is in the more traditional formulation, Desert Fox. Look at this beautiful, warm, just, you want to reach for this. And this creates what I like to say, my perfect brown smoky eye. But you saw the passion. But if you want to, you can keep it soft and pretty, light, and for the everyday. And for 4 colors, you get a lot of looks out of this. And I have shared quite a few with you. Majority of these eye color quads that I'm sharing with you today, I have done dedicated looks with them to share, multiple different looks. Because I love doing that. I really do. I love creating multiple looks with my quads so that you can see their versatility and just have fun with your eyeshadows. And sometimes it's a reminder to use them and giving you some more inspiration or helping you come up with a look that you may not have already done with the palette. And again, I find this to be on the side of like the core colors, your basics that you'll get so much use out of. Love this. Wow, are those 5 already? Oh my gosh. And I feel very proud with my 5 already. Okay, so this eye color quad was limited edition, but I'm sorry, I need it. I would have to have it. It's one of those. This is the beautiful, gorgeous packaging with the ombre Metal Lust. Yeah. Yes. I know, I'll give you a minute. Yeah, there are 2 mattes in here and then 2 chromey type shadows, and they are so gorgeous. The tones are so gorgeous in this. Just look at those. Look at them. They go on the eyes and look wet almost. And as crazy as it may sound, you can go in with just these 2 shades here and one of these on the inner corner and create a very everyday look. But then when you want a little bit more, you can have a little bit more. And that's what I love about this so much. So that's Metal Lust. And again, I know it's limited edition, but I'd have to have it. Yes, it's one of those. Okay, so this one is going to come as no surprise. This is my number one eyeshadow. You know I couldn't go this whole entire top 10 and not share Nude Dip with you. This is what started it all when it comes to my Tom Ford eyeshadow quads. My most repurchased, my most gifted. If you want to gift someone the experience of a Tom Ford eye color quad, this is it. This is the wet dry formula, and it's cool, but it's warm. I just love it. I can't have enough of it. I will always love my Nude Dip. I will definitely have emotions if they ever discontinue Nude Dip. But here she is. This color story can create one and dones. This color story can work as highlight on the face. This color story can be used all on its own. You don't need a companion palette. These colors blend in very, very nicely in the crease, you know, on the outer eye, on the lower lash. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, this is a newer one to the collection, but it is the newer formulation, the Crème formulation. This was one of the first Crème formulations that he recently came out with, Smoky Quartz. Now, this one I want to categorize as a core basic but this one you're going to have it in the Crème formulation, which is just fantastic. See? Very core, basic, everyday, realistic, wearable color story. Do you see that? Yes. And it's so creamy, so easy to work with. Love it. Tones, formulation, just everything. You've got your basic looks. You can get dramatic. You can do one and done. You can do a soft brown smoky eye. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous color story and amazing formulation. I've said that enough, right? You get it. This is technically the newest eyeshadow quad that I've picked up from Tom Ford, but immediately I knew, and I definitely feel of my 10, I need at least one of these because I am a fan of soft, bright, frosty looks like an ice princess. This one. This is Après-Ski. And this is from the Soleil Neige collection. Look at her. Look at her. She's really pretty. She's so, so, so pretty. And this is in the wet dry formula. But it just works. Look at that. Look at them. Look at them. It just works. It does. It's bronzy, it's pinky, it's champagne-y, it's hitting them all. Peachy, all of it. You've got the peachiness, you've got the bronziness, you've got the champagne. And I know she's a new one. She's the new girl, I know, but she can sit with us. We welcome her. So that was Après-Ski from the Soleil Neige Holiday 2022. All right, so this is going to be the last one for the top 10. But again, I have 2 honorable mentions that just have to be included because I'm me and they made the cut, but they made the cut at the end. But anywho, I have quite a bit of core staple colors, but this is a color story in the 10 that needed to be included. It's another one of the newer Crème formulation, and this is Violet Satin. Yeah, she's a very, very, very pretty girl. Yes, she is. Yes. And of course, the formulation, it's that nice, new, beautiful cream formulation. Just look at that. You hear the passion? Yes. And you know, it's funny. I almost didn't get this because I was like, I'm not a purple girl. I'm a purple girl now. This made me a purple eyeshadow girl. like 100%. Just look at these colors. Aren't they gorgeous? Although they're purple and a lot of people are like, oh, I can't do purple. That's what I said too, but in like this sophisticated Tom Ford beautifulness, yes, please, and thank you. And just look at this shade right here. Oh my goodness. Oh, I cannot get enough of this. I would have to have this, and this is why it had to be in the top 10. Absolutely, hands down. I've stated my case. And as promised, I do have 2 honorable mentions. We're going to start off with Pretty Baby. Pretty Baby is just it. This shade right here is the shade, okay? Just look at this color story. Another color story that's got color to it. It's not your basic core, you know, staple, everyday kind of gig, but it could be. Especially this shade right here all over the lid. So gorgeous. You know, you need a little bit of color, but the right kind of colors that you can really wear and enjoy. And I'm sorry, I know I'm only allowed to keep 10, but I would have to find a way to sneak in and keep Pretty Baby. Now, I did compare Pretty Baby to Velour Satin, and they're similar, but they are nowhere near the same at all. They are 2 totally different individuals all on their own. And the other honorable mention that I just feel needed to be a part of this is Body Heat, a true staple and a classic. And I do want to put this in the core, you know, necessities kind of color story. There she is. And this is a wet dry formulation as well. I have it in this limited edition packaging, but it does come in the regular Tom Ford packaging. And yeah, I know you're getting a little bit more than just your neutrals, your browns, you know, your gold and your warm colors. But this I would definitely put in the staple core collection because the colors are so wearable. And I know these 2 shades look similar, but they're not. Definitely not. So if I had to keep only 10 of my Tom Ford eyeshadow quads, those would be it. Plus the 2 honorable mentions, I would have to have those too. So we'd have to work something out. Happy Tom Ford Tuesday, everyone. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Take a moment and give today's video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Stay beautiful, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.